everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new. Today's video is a very exciting video, and I feel like I say that in every single one of my videos. I posted a kind of question and answer thing last week on my YouTube and also my Instagram after somebody basically came up with a video suggestion of me addressing any sort of problems or issues that other artists have come across on their job that they either had a problem solving or couldn't solve. So I'm going to answer all of those little scenarios. I'm going to go on my Instagram, and I'm not going to be naming names or anything because I have a couple of situations that are a little bit more like private, so I'm going to be reading those, and I did get permission to read these people's comments because some people did DM me, and then some people actually answered on the little question and answer card things that you put on your Instagram story. You guys literally answered more than I thought you would, to be completely honest, so I don't know how long this is going to be. Let's see. Okay, so this person said, I had a know-it-all client, you know, the ones that think they're better than a makeup artist. And she actually then sent me a DM that elaborated on this. It said, the entire time I was doing her face, she kept talking about how she was never impressed by an MUA because she can pretty much do everything they do. And she has so much makeup that she has pretty much everything she's ever seen an MUA with, etc. And she said, so it was really funny. I started pulling out more professional makeup in my kit, like the RCMA, etc., that only an MUA would purchase. And of course, she had no idea what it was. Overall, at the end, she was very pleased with the look, but during the process, she kept making me nervous. The majority of your clients, though, that you get probably will be obviously hiring you for the fact that they don't know how to do makeup on themselves. But every once in a while, if you get people that do makeup on themselves on a regular basis, it's a little bit harder, to be totally honest, to make those people happy. For instance, I did my makeup for my own wedding because I didn't trust anybody else to touch my face. So it's gonna be the same with other people. A lot of the times on photo shoots especially, you're assigned to that model by a photographer or a director or whoever is doing that shoot, you know what I mean? And the model has no choice but to obviously use whatever makeup artist that director chose. It's not like a bride where they search you out and they know what your work is, they've seen your portfolio, they see how you work, etc. It's not like that because they don't have a choice of what artist they get to pick. So they don't know you, they don't trust you. It's more so about just like reassuring your clients that you know what you're doing. When you're talking to them, for instance, if you guys are talking makeup and everything, or they're like testing you, just make sure you have accurate answers. If you're knowledgeable about makeup and you know how to do your job, you can obviously answer all those questions, and they'll eventually see that you're really knowledgeable, and obviously your end results will show them that you know how to do your job. Just keep in mind that that person might be a little bit more picky and it might take longer. And there's honestly really no way to prevent those kind of clients. You're just gonna get those clients that are pickier. Okay, so now moving on to the next person. So this person said, hi Julie, brilliant idea. One time I had a girl that came in with a friend. Normally I'm okay, but she wanted some curls too and asked me in 15 minutes if I could do her friend's makeup too. Yeah, so this one's actually a really interesting situation. I feel like this kind of boils down to the fact that just that person had no idea how many minutes it takes you to do makeup. I would definitely let that person know that in reality, like, you're not gonna be able to get done with that in 15 minutes. Like, there's no way. If you literally cannot physically get a makeup application done in the amount of time that they're giving you, and somebody wants to add makeup on, just say no. Like, it's not gonna hurt you. It's just better to be straight up honest and upfront with people. All you have to say to that person that wants to be added on is you just want to apologize to them and say that unfortunately due to timing or due to the circumstances, I won't be able to complete a full face of makeup on you and be able to complete it to my standards and have it look, you know, the way that you want it to look. Next person said, I was doing bridal makeup and the foundation creased into fine lines. What would you do to fix it? This is really hard because I don't know the exact situation or what products you put on somebody. Sometimes if people just have too deep-seated fine lines or any sort of creasing in their faces, like some people have really deep smile lines, it just happens, and foundation's gonna settle in there no matter what. Like, it's a thing that's gonna have to happen. My best solution is not applying like a full coverage foundation in that area. Before you go in with powder and set anything, you wanna make sure that you either take a sponge or a brush or something and tap out and get out the excess concealer or foundation or any product that's like sitting in those lines and then go in and set it. So what you're doing if you don't get out any excess product in those creases is that all you're doing is literally just taking powder and packing it further into that line, and it's making it look really, really bad because of the fact that it literally has foundation, concealer, and it also has powder sitting on top of it, and you're literally just packing it all into that one line. I hope that made sense. Anyways, now I'm going to moving on to the next question. So this person said a bride adding 4 more clients on 2 weeks before the wedding. This situation is kind of could work like multiple different ways. So I guess I'll just give you like the 2 different scenarios that I thought of off the top of my head. As far as a bride wanting to add 4 more clients on, first of all, it depends if you have enough time to do it. So if you have enough time to do it, you obviously know how fast you can do a makeup application and you know how much time you need. If you can't do those 4 people, see if you can maybe do a portion of them. Or if you can't do any of them, then just tell the bride that. This is kind of going back to the second one that I read. You can say no to somebody. Like, you don't have to take all those clients, and it really honestly shouldn't be about the money at that point in time. Like, I know that obviously, like, if you could get done with those 4 people, then it's 4 more people that you get paid for. I get it. But if you accurately cannot do somebody's makeup in that amount of time and do it well and do it up to the standards that you really want, it's not worth it. Because that'll create a very, very bad name for yourself and a bad reputation for yourself. It just takes one person, honestly, that says you're doing a very terrible job, you're a bad makeup artist. Like, it takes one person. So don't sacrifice yourself and your artistry skills to make more money. That's one situation, but if you can take more people, then see if you can take all of those people, and if timing allows for it, or if you can take like a couple of those people or something, like say you can maybe only take 2 of the 4 people, then take the 2 of the 4 people and they can just decide amongst themselves who wants to go. Do you know what I mean? I would honestly just kind of stand your ground and just be honest as far as timing and everything. If you can take them, if you can't take them, that's completely up to you. It just kind of, again, depends on the situation, so I can't really tell you necessarily what to do, but depending on what you're dealing with, then I would probably go with either of those 2 things. All right, so the next person said being invited to the wedding when you thought you were only doing makeup. I don't think that's a makeup problem. I think that's just like a situational problem. I've actually been invited personally to a client's wedding before when I did not know them. I was just doing the bride's makeup, and then she was super friendly and invited like all of her wedding vendors to her wedding. If you don't feel comfortable going to that person's wedding because you don't know who they are outside of you just having a professional relationship, then don't do it. Like, it's gonna be weird unless you're a person that can just mingle with strangers and everything and feel comfortable by yourself, but I'm personally not that kind of person. I would feel extremely awkward in that situation, so I just made up some sort of excuse. Or if you don't feel comfortable saying that to them and you feel like you're lying, just apologize and basically say that you really appreciate the offer, but you're gonna have to decline. And that's all that you have to say. You don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be awkward about it. Like, just say that and they should respect your answer. It's one of those things where it's pretty much up to you at that point in time. But if you really don't feel comfortable going to a stranger's wedding, I completely get it. Next one, honestly, is one of the scenarios that I literally have nightmares about. If the bride told you she wants an entirely new makeup look the morning of the wedding. I don't know, honestly, what I would do in this situation, but I'll probably try to think of something off the top of my head really quickly, but I didn't read any of these beforehand, so you guys are just seeing like my plain answers as I'm thinking of them. Yeah, so I think that what I would personally do in this scenario, it kind of just depends how much different it is from the trial. So if you guys already did like a bridal preview or a bridal trial or whatever you guys call it, I would basically just say to her, why are you changing it, or what didn't you like about it? And then she'll obviously give you an answer and everything, and it just kind of depends what her answer is. Again, this is super situational. I don't know if you personally had this happen to you and that's why you're asking me, or if it's like a hypothetical thing that I always think about every once in a while because I would probably stress out too. But if this has personally happened to you, again, I would just ask her why she's changing it or what she wants to change about it. And if she has reference photos, that would be fantastic because then you can do that. But as far as that, I would probably just work it the same way as you did her bridal preview. So I would just make sure that you're stopping every step of the way and just kind of approving everything 100% before you move on to the next step. Just literally treat it like another preview. I have had this happen to some extent, but we haven't really changed very much. Like, I've had to change the style of the lashes for somebody. I've had to change the darkness of the eyeshadow, and I've had to add more eyeliner to somebody before, and then I've had to also change lip colors before too. But it's honestly nothing like super drastic that's happened to me. It hasn't been like an entirely new makeup look or anything. But yeah, I would just treat it like another preview and then I would go from there. This next question, I've actually made an entire video over, and so I won't really be talking about it like in depth or anything because I did make a whole entire video. So this person said, when you have a client that really doesn't want to cooperate. So that could mean a wide variety of things, and she didn't send me a DM or anything, and I probably should have sent her one to like ask what she meant by this. As far as that, I would definitely go ahead and check out the video. I'll link it in the cards above. It's basically a video about how to deal with difficult clients. So any clients that don't want to cooperate or they're a little bit more difficult, I have addressed in that video. So I definitely would go ahead and check that one out. I won't be addressing any of those things in this video because I feel like it'll be kind of repetitive. This next one, this one gets me all the time, but it doesn't happen super often anymore, but it did in the past. Maybe talk about when people react negatively to your pricing. And I'm guessing that you're meaning that when people think that you're either too high a price tag or like why you're charging the amount that you are. First of all, this whole entire topic just like makes me really mad. And I know you guys have seen me rant about this in my pet peeves video. Like I literally did a whole entire rant over it for like 10 minutes straight. I feel like it was a long time. But anyways, I truly feel like when people argue or react negatively about your prices and they feel like you're too high a price tag, that's basically saying like you're not worth the amount that you're charging for your clients, and it's really degrading. If people ever ask me why I charge the amount that I'm charging, like they think I'm too high or something, I mean, I'll kind of be sort of offended, but I'll just politely message them back, set all my grudges aside, and basically just tell them that I have 7 years of experience underneath my belt as a makeup artist. I'm very experienced doing a wide variety of clients. I've trained with MAC Cosmetics for 4 years. And I also have been a freelancer for 2.5. I own my own business, and this is what I'm charging. So they can either take it or leave it. They've obviously seen the amount of work that I put out. You can literally compare my work with other people in town. I mean, I'm not trying to judge. They might be beginners and everything, but you can definitely tell a difference between somebody who has experience and somebody who doesn't have experience. You can literally just see it. I think I'm charging a good amount for what I'm worth. If not, I'm undercharging for what I'm worth. I just want you to know that people will always react negatively to your pricing sometimes, and then they'll choose to book you or not to book you. But usually those people don't end up booking with you, but if they do, it's a real shock. The last scenario I got here is actually kind of a long one, but I'm just gonna basically summarize it into like the one message that they sent me originally. So this person said, I almost had a breakdown when the client's eyes couldn't stop watering and tearing and the powder was already on. Also, what to do if foundation says it's non-transfer but still does. There are two parts obviously to this question. I'll probably answer the first one last because I feel like the second part of this question actually is a pretty simple answer. So anything that says non-transferable, it says non-transferable because that's the way they market it, but a product really isn't non-transferable on everybody. There's no such thing as like a universal product. One product will not work on everybody. One product that says non-transferable will not be non-transferable on every single person. It definitely depends on their skin type. So if they have more oily skin, it's really hard to make a foundation non-transferable, to be completely honest. I've never had a foundation that is not transferred on white clothing before. I have super oily skin, especially in the summertime when I'm sweating and when I'm hot, and nothing is non-transferable on me. I promise you. Like, I can literally set the thing with setting spray all day. I can set it with powder. It's gonna transfer. I would just make sure though that you're not putting foundation like too far down somebody's neck or anything, because you don't want to like interfere with like wedding dresses, obviously, because they're obviously white or cream colored. The second one is actually a simple answer as well, but I did want to specifically address this too, because a lot of people recently, I actually got 2 different comments about this, about people's eyes watering. There's 2 different situations where this can happen. So number one is that your client's eyes are just really sensitive. You're not gonna be able to do anything about it. Like, some people, you literally can just like go up and like poke their eye and like they'll start watering and the tears will just start coming. It doesn't reflect your artistry skill or how you're interacting with your clients or anything. It's literally, that's just what it is. They're just super sensitive with your eye area. I've had that before with clients. Then the second part is that if you are doing something and your pressure isn't right, or you're doing something that's like uncomfortable around people's eyes and you don't realize it. Usually this is with people that are beginner makeup artists and they just don't realize that they're applying too much pressure somewhere, or if you're like in somebody's waterline and you don't give people enough time to blink or something, then obviously as a bodily response, their eyes are gonna start watering if they don't have enough time to blink. I hardly ever put anything in people's waterlines because I know how sensitive it is. I don't even like touching my own. So it's like, I can't understand like how people even sit, honestly, to have another person be in their waterline area. But I usually don't ever use eyeliner down there. It's usually just like a darker powder. So that's been the most comfortable with my clients. If they ever want waterline eyeliner, then I'll use a gel liner and then I'll kind of just draw it on with a brush and it'll go really pigmented, really smoothly. Also keep in mind your pencil also might not be sharpened, and that's the reason that it could be irritating people too. Going back to the first situation, if you have clients that have really, really sensitive eyes, know that it's not your fault. It's definitely just, you know, some people are more sensitive, as I said before. So in this situation, I've learned this from a couple of different artists now that I've trained with, and it's honestly something that you wouldn't think about unless somebody told you. So here's the thing. If you guys have a client that has super sensitive eyes and you guys eliminated the other ones that I talked about and it's not you, then make sure that you have your client tilt their head back a little bit. So just tilt it back. This prevents clients' tears from actually like running down people's faces. It's basically gravity at that point in time. And if you have somebody tilt their head all the way back like this and sit like this, then obviously the tears don't have anywhere to go except for in their eyes. So at that point in time, you can take a tissue or take a Q-tip or something and just kind of start blotting really quickly. But somebody also taught me this. If you tell your clients to stick their tongue to the roof of their mouth and sit there for a minute, and just continually like hold their tongue there, their eyes will stop watering. And weirdly enough, it works. I don't know why, but I think it's kind of the same thing that happens with like a brain freeze. If that doesn't work, then again, have them put back their head like this. And then what you want to do is have them open their mouth slightly and then breathe through their nose. It's a very like weird thing to tell your clients to do, but it forces the tears like back up into their eyes. It's so weird. So basically you're sitting there like this, and it looks super weird, but every single time you're breathing in through your nose and your mouth is open, like it forces the tears like back into your eyes. It's so strange, and I don't know what it is, and it works every single time. So yeah, again, roof of the mouth thing, try that first. If that doesn't work, then try the head tilting back thing, and then just do it until their eyes aren't watering anymore. Just kidding. Also, the other scenario that I wanted to talk about really quickly is usually people's eyes start watering right after you do false lashes. And to be totally honest, this is a very, very common occurrence. It's not anything, again, that you're doing. It's just a very like uncomfortable thing to have somebody like poking at your lash line. And you can honestly prevent this by doing your eyes first, like doing the complete eye first. So you're doing the upper lid, the lower lash line, and then you're also sticking on false lashes too. Make sure they get out all their tears and everything, just so they're not ruining face makeup. Just maybe start practicing doing eyes first. This also is a really good way to prevent fallout too from falling on the face. Then you won't have to sit there and correct it, wipe it away, try to dust off black shadow on foundation. It's not very pretty. So every single application that you guys have ever seen me do on this channel, I do eyes first. I don't do the lower lash line completely, but I do put on the false lashes because those are most likely the thing that are going to make people tear up. So if you honestly start practicing your applications in that order, you'll honestly find out that even if people tear, you're going to have a less hard time trying to correct the situation if you don't already have powder and foundation and everything already on, because yes, it is a very, very hard thing to correct. The best thing that I would probably suggest if you already put foundation and powder on and everything and somebody's sitting there crying, just make sure that you blot that area that had the tear really, really quickly. So use a Q-tip, cotton pad, whatever you have, even a Kleenex, and just kind of dab at the area. Obviously, product will not stick to areas that are really wet, so that's why you're gonna have a problem trying to make concealer and foundation stick right after you have that tear that was there. But you want to make sure that you dry it all the way completely, and then I would use an eyeshadow primer. Yeah, use an eyeshadow primer right in the area that the tear was, and that'll basically create a sticky base of some sort. Try to implement all those techniques that I taught you, and yeah, hopefully you guys will do really well with that. Anyways, that is it for this video. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed it. Give me a big thumbs up if you stayed all the way till the very end of the video. Comment down below any helpful tips and tricks that you guys have learned from this video, or anything that's helped you out, or any other tips and tricks that you guys have that I didn't mention in this video, because I definitely don't know it all. Please subscribe to this channel if you guys have not already. I do upload a ton of makeup artist related content and helpful tips and tricks for newer makeup artists, so definitely subscribe down below if you guys are interested in those videos. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will talk to you guys in my next video. All right, bye.